Good morning, girls. Uh, One more time, let us start about JSP. Right? Up to now, JSP elements we studied, we covered the comment tag, and we also gone through the scriptlet tags. Now, today we are going to discuss a new tag, that is directive tag or directive element. Directive tag gives a special instruction to the web container at the time of page translation. When the page translation occurs means when the web container itself converts our JSP page to its equal servlet page, it gives some special type of instructions, right? Um, the role of the directive is to pass information to the JSP container, and here you can see there are three types of directive tags are available in JSP. First is page directive, second is include directive, and the third one is tag lib directive. The main task of page directive is to define a page dependent properties such as language, session, error page, etc. Okay. The second one is include directive, which is used for defining a file to be included in your JSP. And the third one, tag lib, is it declared tag library used in the page. Let us see all this directive in detail one by one. We'll discuss about include and tag lib directive later. You can place a page directive anywhere in the JSP file, but it is good practice to make it as the first statement of the JSP page. Keep this thing in your mind. I repeat, you can place page directive anywhere in your JSP file. When you are coding in JSP, HTML and Java code both together, in that coding you can place your page directive anywhere, right? But it is a good practice to make it as the first statement of the JSP page, right? Always keep your page directive on the first line. The page directive defines a number of page dependent properties which communicate with the web container at the time of translation. The page directive has following properties. Number one is import attribute, second language attribute, then extend attribute, session attribute, and is thread safe attribute, is error page attribute, content type attribute, auto flush, and buffer attribute. Let us begin with the first one, import attribute. It defines the list of packages which are imported with the JSP page with its fully qualified name, right? Here you can see the import attribute defines the set of classes and packages that must be imported in servlet class definition, right? For example, here I want to import a util package in my JSP code. How we can write it? See, we need a scriptlet tag, then we will do @ symbol, then we will write page because this is our page directive, then which attribute you want to set? Import attribute, right? So see, if you compare this tag with HTML tag, it become very easy for you, right? In HTML we always write like this, like for example, HTML tag begin, then input, then type equals to text. In similar way, here you can write scriptlet tag, then @ symbol, then page is a name of directive, or we can say name of tag, then import is a property or attribute you want to set. Import equals to java.util.date. Like this you can import a util package in your JSP page. The another way is, here you can see the another way. Here we have included two packages, right? You can import two packages separately as well as you can import two packages using a single attribute like this: page, then import equals to java.util.date, the first package, right? One more package I want to include in my JSP, then separate the name of another package by comma. Here I have done comma, then name of another package java.net.star. So here in this statement you can see I have imported two packages using single page directive and import attribute. Second is language attribute. Language attribute defines a scripting language to be used in the page. We rarely use this attribute with our page directive, right? It is used to define the language which is used with the scriptlet element. Most probably its valid value is Java only, so no need to define it. Okay. Then next one is extends. Extends attribute define the class name of the superclass of the servlet class that is generated from the JSP page. It defines the fully qualified name of the superclass of the JSP page. Session attribute. Session attribute defines whether the JSP page is participating in an HTTP session or not. The value is either true or false. It defines the boolean indicating value, right? As I told you, true or false, whether the JSP page requires an HTTP session or not. If the value is true, then the generated servlet will contain the which cause the HTTP session to be created. Then next is thread safe. This attribute declares whether the JSP is thread safe. The value is either true or false. It also defines the boolean indicating value. If its value is true, then JSP page handles all the requests simultaneously from the multiple threads. And if it is set to false, it generates the servlet declares that it implements the single thread model interface. Next attribute is error page attribute. Is error page attribute declares whether the current JSP page represents another JSP error page in it or not. I repeat, it also defines the boolean indicating value. If its value is true, its value JSP page considered as a error page, and if it is false, it is a normal JSP page. Next is error page attribute. Error page attribute indicate another JSP page that will handle all the runtime exception thrown by current JSP page. It defines the URL of your error page. If we want to implement the error page with the other JSP pages, we can use this directive. Next is content type attribute. Content type attribute defines the MIME type for the JSP response. Auto flush attribute. Auto flush attribute defines whether the buffered output is flushed automatically. The default value is true. So always it flush unnecessary buffered output. Okay, it removes the unnecessary buffered output automatically. Next is buffer attribute. It specifies the size of output buffer. Buffer attribute define how buffering is handled by the implicit out object. Okay, these are the attributes of page directive. Through the example, we will understand how you can use page directive in JSP code, right? Before that, include directive. The second directive type. The include directive tells the web container to copy everything in the included file and paste it into your current JSP file, as we can do in our PHP language, right? We can use include uh, in JSP as well. This directive is used to include the static HTML pages and dynamic JSP pages with the other JSP pages. For example, if we want to set the same header for all the JSP pages, we can create header.html and we can include it with necessary JSP pages. This thing you have already done in your PHP subject, right? In short, the include directive can use to insert a part of code that is common for a multiple file. Here the syntax of include directive is shown, same as the previous one. Page directive, the symbols used for include directive are same. Scriptlet tag with @ symbol, then we will write include, and the attribute is file. Here you have to add the name of file with its extension as shown here, file name.jsp, right? See here one code is shown, HTML tag, body tag begin. Then I want to include my header file between this body tag. For that I will write include file header.jsp. Okay, the content of header.jsp will come here. Then in the similar way I want to include footer.jsp, so I will write include file equals to footer.jsp. This will include the footer file. In this area the code will come here. Now let us try to understand through the example. Here I have created one example, include directive, example number 5. We will create a welcome.jsp file, and I have one header.jsp defined over here. Okay, so we will include this file over here. In this example, what we want to do, in the first file I have given a title welcome page, right? Inside the body tag I want to include header.jsp file, and then I want to write welcome user, body tag over, and at the end HTML tag over. Let us see what is inside the header.jsp file. Here we have created one JSP with name header. It has also a body tag. It contains body tag inside the HTML tag. Here I have taken one image tag of HTML, and the source is header.jpg. If the image is not available, then alternate I want to display this is header image, right? So I want to display an image in header.jsp, and this header.jsp I have included in my welcome.jsp file, right? So let us prepare this files in NetBeans. We need to open NetBeans. For that, here it is. Okay, if you want you can create a new project for this, or else you can use your existing project as well. Here I have a lot of, you can see projects are already created. I'll go with the JSP example 2, right? Here you can see index.html is here. Here I have entered the name of user and then password also. Then there is one submit button, and whenever we click on the submit button it will execute welcome.jsp. Let us check what is the coding of welcome.jsp. Yes, this is our last program, right? Here we got the username and password, and then display the username and password. Let us utilize the same file. Let us include the header portion here, and then we will display the username and password on the same screen. So first of all, we need to place one image in the same folder, right? Header.jpg we want. So let us prepare it. Any image with a name header.jpg, you have to choose from your drive. You can take any of the image, whatever you want. Okay, you can get it from sample pictures, for example this one. So take this picture, copy this picture. We will go in the drive J2EE. Here in the JSP example 2, let me paste my image and rename this image. First we want the image file with this name header.jpg, right? So first you check the extension. Here the jpg file is available. I'm renaming this file. The name of this file is header. You can create your own header file, right? So here I have renamed this file. Now copy this image. I have copied this image and put in the web folder, right? Web folder. Here I have pasted this file. Here you can see header file, jpg file. I repeat, where you have to paste your images. Okay, go to F drive. Then I have created my project in J2EE folder. Here you can see JSP_exp. This is a name of our example, JSP_exp, right? So I created this folder inside the J2EE folder with name JSP_ext_ex2. When you create your project, this will automatically create some subfolders, okay, with name build, NB project, source, test, web and build. Here you have to copy your jpg file, then rename it, then cut this file and put into web folder. Here paste your file. I have already pasted, right? Header.jpg. okay, here you can see web.inf file. Inside it you will find XML document. Okay, so got it? These are our default folders. Whenever you create your project through the NetBeans, this folders will be automatically created, okay, by the NetBeans itself. And you have to put your header file inside the web folder. Okay, now minimize it or close it. Now go back to your welcome file. First we created index file. Here what we have done: HTML, head tag, title tag, then body tag begin, form tag I have taken, then set the action welcome.jsp. On the click of this button, I want to execute this file, right? Here I have set method of post. Then I have provided two text boxes. First one is name, which will accept the username from the browser machine. Then second text box I have provided for entering a password, okay, again from the browser machine. And the name of this password box is pw, and the name of this user's name box is user. Then I have provided one submit button for clicking and submitting this page. On the submission of this page, the index page will execute welcome.jsp. Now create your JSP page with welcome.jsp. Where to create it? For that, right click on web pages, go to new and click on JSP. Right here it will ask you for a file name. Give an appropriate name. I want to give a welcome. As you know that welcome is already used, so it is showing an error. The file welcome.jsp already exists. You can create another file with another name, like for example welcome1, and click on finish. As you can see, the welcome1 is created. Okay, I don't want this file because I have already created welcome.jsp. okay, this is my file welcome.jsp, and this is yes, welcome.jsp. Here what will I do? This is the content I have done in previous example. HTML head tag, title tag, head tag is over. In between this I have given a scriptlet tag. Here one object of type string I have declared, and one more object with name pw of type string I have declared, and here we will get the values which are entered through index.html with the help of getParameter method, right? User and pw. Body tag begin. Now here as you know that we can display the username and password like this, welcome user, and your password is pw, right, with the help of out.println method. And here for printing and entering a Java code in my JSP page, I can use the scriptlet tag like this. Here the scriptlet tag is over. Now my next task is to see how to use include directive, right? So for that I have to do this thing only. So let us write in the header area. I want to include my header.php. For that we will use this tag as I told you. See, here you can see the include tag. Then the attribute name is file equals to the name of my file is header.jsp. We will provide the name of that file which we want to include over here, header.jsp, right? That's it, nothing else we have to do. Okay, now go to your project window and create your header file. Go to web pages, new, and create JSP. Give a name to this file as header file and click on finish. Here we are in the header file, right? Delete all unnecessary contents. We don't want all these things. Title also I don't want. Inside the body tag I will take image tag, image. Here we will provide a source. Our source is header.jpg, right? We want to insert the image through this image, through this path. This file I want to insert. Okay, then alternate you can set header image. So here complete your image tag, right? Now our header file is ready. For the sake of simplicity, we don't want to do any more coding in our header file, right? Once you become expert, you can add your coding as per your designing portion, right? So let us go back to welcome.jsp. Here we have already included this file header.jsp. The name of this file is header.jsp. Don't be confused. See, the name of this file is header.jsp, as well as the name of image we want to insert over here is also header, right? But the extensions of both the files are different. Header.jpg. Okay. If you don't want to get confused, you can change the name of your file, F drive, then J2EE, JSP example. Inside the web folder, replace the name, rename flower. Okay, now it become flower.jpg. JPG image, the name of JPG image is flower. Replace this name with flower. Okay, flower.jpg. Now the name of file is header.jsp, which we want to include in our welcome.jsp file. So we have done, right? And in this file, what we want to do is we just want to display the image of flower, nothing else. You can run your file. Let us run this file, header.jsp. It will show you the image only, right? Nothing else. We are running header.jsp, as you can see. Okay, let us run our whole project in sequence. For that, we will go to our project folder, right click, and then run. This will start the execution of our program from index.jsp. Okay, as you can see here, the text box for entering a name and for a password, both text boxes are visible. In one submit button we have provided, and click on submit button. Okay, this will execute welcome.jsp. Here it is. We are on welcome.jsp. In our welcome.jsp file, what we have done, we have included our header file. Okay, header file, and exactly below that we have taken welcome, name of user, and then user password is ABC. Let us see the coding of welcome.jsp. Here it is. We have included this file. Exactly below this, what I have written is welcome, and then username, and then your password is, both the things are printed. So this is a usage of include directive. Let us go through the steps we have done. First, create your project. Then inside the web pages, create your index file. Either you can create your HTML index or you can create JSP index. Here we have taken index.html file. In index.html, I have set the text box for name and one password box for entering a password, and one submit button. When we click on the submit button, action that we want to fire is welcome.jsp. Now second thing is to create your welcome.jsp. Here it is, welcome.jsp. You can fetch these two parameters, user and password, then include the file header.jsp, which you want to display, which you want to include over here. Whatever coding you have done in your header file, that will be displayed in your welcome file, right? Now let us go back to header.jsp. For that, you have to create your file. Again, right click on web pages and create one more JSP with name header.jsp. in the header.jsp, what I have done, I have just placed one image, and the source for the image I have provided. Now included this file in welcome.jsp. Execute your program by right clicking on your main folder and run. Let us enter some different name, other name. Prisha, and as a password I am entering XYZABC, and click on submit. This will execute welcome.jsp. Here it is. Okay, and exactly below that we got welcome Prisha, and your password is XYZABC. So now hope you understand how to use include directive and what is the purpose of this include directive tag in JSP. Okay, you can do more examples as per your wish. So this is all about include directive. Today's session will cover we have covered this tag. Now in the next session we are going to cover taglib directive and expression tag as well. Okay, see you in the next session. Thank you.